it. Now there's some competition. One of them's going to eat it. There he is right there. As soon as you get two of them down there, boy, it can make such a big difference, especially with crappies. Crappies are one of those fish that, you know, you get that window where 2-3 of them come in. And what'll happen a lot of times is these fish, oh yeah, this is a good one. Look at this one. Look at that. That's a giant fish right there. That's a great crappie to start our day with. But one of the things that happens is, you know, you sit a long time sometimes like I did here and you don't see them. And I didn't see them and it took forever to, it felt like it took forever to get fish to come in. And I'd get some singles come in one at a time. You know, they'd look at it and a lot of times they'd just turn back and go back down. A couple of them nipped at me. But here's the thing, when you get two of them in there like that, and I saw the one come up and I thought, you know, I got a chance at him. But as soon as that second one showed up, man, that guy right there, he come railing up and finally hit. And it has not been the kind of day where fish are railing up and hitting. Our weather conditions right now, they are awful brutal. I mean, we had a snowstorm come through last night, dumped about 6 inches of snow on us. And then right behind that, here's the other thing that happened. Now this cold front's coming in and it's just slowed these fish down. I mean, you watch them down here on the screen and there's nothing fast about anything they're doing. And that's the first time I've had something happen in a hurry. And it was only because that second one showed up and that guy there, he was scared he was going to miss out on his meal. Let's go back down there and see if we can find that one that was with him. Because a lot of times they'll just be in the same neighborhood. And you know, the other thing you do is you really hope that aside from that fish and the other one we saw, that there's 3 or 4 more nearby. And a lot of times there are with crappies. There's another one down there right now. Let's see if we can get to him. I think there's a couple of them here. Let's see if we can get them to come up to us. All of a sudden there's some activity. It's one of the things that happens, especially in these cold front situations with crappies, is you can sometimes just look at them and look at them and look at them, and it'll get so frustrating because you'll just wonder, you know, are they going to bite today? Are they not going to bite today? And a lot of times what happens is all of a sudden they'll turn on, and that's what's happening for us right now. There's 3 or 4 more down there still. We'll get this guy up. We're going to get back down there real quick because here's what's happening. All of a sudden, all the time I spent this morning waiting for these fish to turn on, I moved once, trying to get myself in a position where we could start catching them, is now paying off because these crappies are starting to bite. And when they start to bite, you got to work fast. That's a great fish right there. I'm going to dump right back down there. We'll see if them fish are still there. There were more of them on the screen. Yep, there's 3 of them on there right now. So this is one of those times where, man, it's it's a fire drill. I mean, here's what you fish for. Here's what you fish the morning for. Here's what you stick it out for. Because all of a sudden these fish are going to bite. And here's the thing that's going to happen too. Sitting in a cold front like this, looking outside, looking at this weather, this bite isn't going to last forever. So this is one of those times that you want to move fast. Get back down there on them. And the hole's icing up on me a little bit, and it's making it harder to be as effective as I want to be. But here we go. There's fish down there. Let's see if I can stick this guy right away here. Here he comes. He's got a buddy with him too. It should make it fairly automatic, the fact he's got a buddy with him. There he is. Got him. How cool is that when you can start catching fish this fast? But one of the keys to what I'm doing here and catching them fast is being able to fish fast. If you can't fish fast, you're not going to get these fish when you got to get them in a hurry like this. And that's why I'm using tungsten today. And look at these crappies, man. It's just one after another. I mean, there's just a pile of them down there. But I got to get to them fast because as they're coming in here, the reality is this. I got to get back down to them in a hurry because if you don't, once you pull one of their buddies up, they'll look around. You know, that guy there, he was down there the whole time. He's watched me take 2 of his buddies out of that school. He'll start moving on if you don't get right back down there. So what I'm fishing today is the all-new Lindy Tungsten bug. And what's cool about this is it comes in a couple different sizes, but it hangs horizontal. And when I jig it, it's got a little bit of a 45-degree motion to it. So it'll just kind of rock a little bit like that. And that's just enticing to panfish. They just love it, whether it's bluegills, crappies, perch, whatever it may be. They love that little rocking motion. But the other thing I'm able to do is I'm back down there already. I'm fishing about 30 feet of water today. This is the ideal time to be using tungsten because you can get back down there fast. And you know, I'm moving slow in comparison to how you'd be moving if you weren't filming a TV show. I mean, ultimately, you get back down there with that tungsten jig this fast and the fish don't get a whole lot of time to move on you. And that's why tungsten is so cool in these situations, because if I were having to fish lead, it would take forever to get back down there, especially in these kind of depths with my reel icing up and everything we got going on. But with that tungsten, it races back down and I'm right back on them again. One of the neatest things about fishing tungsten is you have total control of your bait. Because of it being so heavy, that line is so straight. So when I was just shaking this rod tip there, I was putting that tiny little bit of action on there still. And sometimes just that little subtle little bit of anything will make a big difference. Look at that. What a great way to wrap up our day. You know, I spent a lot of hours this morning waiting, watching, and again, we're hooked right in that same spot. Watching fish that weren't super aggressive. I moved a little bit, did everything in my power to try to find a bunch of fish that would bite. And you know, sometimes it comes down to what we did here today. And that is when you get on a spot and you see some fish, just trust that in this situation, changing through baits, fishing fast when you get the opportunity will catch you some fish. Because for all the time I sat this morning, for all the work I did moving, trying to get on those fish and make today happen, realistically this happened in no time once these fish turned on. And that's a lot of times what will happen in a cold front, because one of two things happened here. These fish were here the whole time and all of a sudden they got hot. The other thing that sometimes happens is they're just roaming around the area and they got in here finally. But the bite hasn't been aggressive. It's been that subtle throughout the morning. It was hard to really see what was going to happen. But by the time they started, I mean, when we got them dialed in, we caught them and we caught them fast. And you can do the same thing. Don't say that it's cold front. We can't catch them. We got to stay home. Get out, fish fast when you get on them, and then have a little bit of patience as well when you are working them, because that can make a huge difference and help you fill that pail.